please speak the truth. Got a mic in our hand, yeah, we'll break from behind the bars.
No intro music tonight, so welcome everybody. Outlaws to Advocates. Technical difficulties. We've been on a break. The producer, pretty rusty. Glad everybody's here tonight. We're welcoming Eric Barron. Everybody, give Eric a big hello. Hi, Eric.
I'm waiting.
Hey, Eric.
Hey, Eric.
All 6 of our viewers said hello.
We're actually, I believe, about 0 right now, but we're getting there. We've been gone for a minute. Yeah. We're back. We're back.
You and Jeremy's old lady and us 4.
Yeah. Hey, you guys better pay attention because no one else is.
Can you at least log on so we can start like doing the hearts and like the applauses and stuff?
Make it look good.
Can we get a thumbs up, maybe?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. But yeah, things are good, man. Things are good. My name's George Nolan, Outlaws to Advocates, recovery advocate. I'm here with my friends.
Yeah, my name's Jesse. You know, when I met Eric, I was at the tail end of my prison sentence. I was at the Second Chance program, and Eric facilitated one of the classes there, 7 Habits. And I got to be honest with you, I work in behavioral health. I probably know well over 100 facilitators, and he's probably one of the best facilitators that I have
hands down,
ever seen. So one of the classes that he taught, the 7 Habits class, you know, one of the things that I learned from that and took from that, I still apply today in every relationship that I have in my life. All of my friends, my relationships with women, my relationships with my employer, just everybody that I come in contact with, and that's win-win. I try to make sure that I can add value to everybody that's in my life, and I try to make sure that they're adding value to my life, to where we both win. And I've found that has been so helpful in building relationships and friendships, and that all started from the class that he taught.
That's awesome, man.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
That is
Awesome, dude.
Yeah, and it's the truth.
That's the impact, right? That was over a year and a half ago, probably, when you were in there.
Absolutely, it's the truth.
See? Out there changing the world, Eric Barron. That's all. It's a better place because you're in it, man. That's awesome. You want to introduce yourself?
My name's Eric. I'm currently I still continue to facilitate classes. I do it at St. Mary's Skill Center. I teach the life skills classes for individuals who have barriers to employment.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Cool. See, I'm a huge fan of St. Mary's. I was talking to somebody at work today. I can't remember who it was. And they were like, "Oh, I love St. Mary's." Absolutely, man. I've been over there a couple of times. Got to watch you facilitate. We co-facilitated over there once. It was a good time.
For sure.
He never invited me back, so I don't know what happened, but we had a good time that day.
They probably caught you stealing.
I was hungry, bro.
It's all donated stuff.
I was hungry, bro. My friend over here, Jeremy.
Yeah, it's a privilege, Eric. I've known you since 2018. I remember when you first arrived at the Second Chance Center. Very quiet, very reserved, very observant. Did a lot of time, and I always felt this energy about you, like I want to care for you. I want to care about your direction and what you got going on, and I feel pulled towards you, and I feel like we don't talk enough, even though we're in the same fields, doing the same things, and I'm just really grateful you're here tonight, and that your re-entry journey has been a good one. I appreciate it, man, for sure. Thank you for the kind words.
So, Eric has a great story about when he first got to the Second Chance Center. You want to tell us that story?
When I first got there?
Yeah.
There's a few.
Leave-
Which one are you specifically?
The one with Cass.
Oh.
But leave the names out of the people who are involved.
So, I got there, and immediately they put me as the landscaper. There was a landscaping class. There was a landscaping class, and that's what they gave me at the very first time. That's the very first class they gave me. You know,
They assumed you'd be a good fit for the landscaping class.
Yeah, they did assume, and then the field died. Yeah, the football field. Yeah. But that was kind of just the point where, you know, like I was just really just learning how to facilitate, really, you know. But I was one time I was on the field by myself because at the moment we didn't have a class, so I was edging up the football field, you know, and I was doing it by hand.
And so it took a long time. It takes a long time to edge up to an actual football field by hand.
Yeah, I bet.
So I'm on one side of the field, and I kind of just hear yelling at a distance, and I looked up, and I seen
One of the officers?
one of the officers kind of like calling me, And so I was like, all right. So I grabbed my shovel, my hoe, and a rake and threw it over my shoulder, and I'm walking over there, right? And then as I'm walking towards them, they started walking away. So I was like, okay. So like I'm just following them, They walked around the building. They hit to where you got to go to the chow hall, and like I'll walk around there, and I stopped because they stopped, and so they're like, follow me, So we walk back. That's all right. So we end up going into my boss's office, and he sits down, and there's another guy there, and the guy sits down, and I'm standing up.
Is the other guy incarcerated or?
The other guy is incarcerated.
Okay.
Yeah. So the officer is sitting at a desk. There's two of us who were incarcerated. I was standing. The other guy was sitting down, and the officer just starts saying, if somebody comes up to admin and rolls up and leaves the yard because they owe you money, you guys are out of here. And at first I was like completely lost. I'm thinking like, maybe he's just talking to this guy. He's going to talk to me right after he talks to this guy, right? So I'm like, all right, well, I'm just waiting, and he's going back and forth. He's looking at both of us, and so finally I kind of like just, can I say something? He's like, go ahead. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, nobody owes me money. Like, I don't even gamble, And then he said, I saw you on the camera. And it just shocked me because I was like, you saw me on the camera? Like, what camera are you looking at, right?
Yeah.
And so
Running a racket.
So he goes off. He goes off, and he just continues to tell me that you're going to be gone. I'm going to ship you to a different yard. We're going to lock you down. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And I'm like, I'm just sitting there taking it, right? Because I don't know what to do. I'm completely lost. The guy sitting in the chair is kind of like just looking at a distance. Like, you're a part of this too. You're like, how am I the only one being talked to here? And this guy's just looking at a distance, And so I'm like, all right. So I let him talk. And then once he finished talking, I was like, could I say something? He's like, go ahead. I was like, that wasn't me. Like, I don't know what else to say, right? Like, that wasn't me. And he's like, it was you. I saw you on the camera. You were sitting next to him. I was like, what? So in my head, I'm like, this is a perfect opportunity for this guy to say he wasn't there, right? Perfect opportunity, right? Perfect opportunity. And when he said that, the guy sitting in the chair was like this. I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, I don't know.
Throw me a bone?
Throw me something, right? Finally, after like a while, he did speak up and he did say he wasn't there, And the officer was like, he didn't know what to say, right? And he finally like looked at me. He's like, well, if you weren't there, okay, but I'm pretty sure I saw you on the camera. And then he was like, I'm not gonna tell your boss. I was like, when he said that, I immediately entered like, I chimed in. I'm like, I'm gonna tell her. I'm gonna tell her, right? Like, there's no reason for me to hide this. So when she comes in, I'm gonna tell her. He's like, you can tell her if you want to tell her. I'm not. I said, that's fine. I'll tell her. And she comes in, right? Because she used to come in at noon. And so she comes in, and I go into the office. She already knew. So somebody in the administration, when she came in, right away told her, and she was like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, that doesn't even sound like him. She says, let me review the cameras. So she goes and she reviews the cameras, right? And she told me that when I reviewed the camera, it was not you. It was some black guy. And so I'm like, what the hell? Like, so I'm thinking, hey, I'm going to get an apology from this guy, right? It's been about 5 years. No apology.
No apologies.
And I see him still to this day.
And he's a pretty great dude too. I love that story. It's so funny.
He's got some good ones.
It's really funny when the guy that was sitting next to him is present. He tells it in front of him. It's awesome, dude.
That's too funny.
Like, Yeah, and thanks for sharing that with us, man.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Things happen, man, right?
Yeah.
We got to move through them, and we get accused of stuff, or we do stuff, and all that other thing. But that story has a lot of humor to it, man. I'm glad you shared it. So, how much time did you do in prison?
I did 25 years.
25 years?
Yep.
Straight?
Straight. I got locked up in June of 1999. I was released May of 2024.
It's a considerable amount of time.
You're telling me.
I'm saying. I told somebody, I was like, yeah, I already did 26 years. Like, 25, bro. 25.
And where did you get taken to just directly after county? What yard did you hit?
Dakota. I went to Yuma. They sent me at a 4-yard. I started off at a 4-yard in Dakota.
And no AC.
No AC, no.
Yeah.
They had
Wall sweat, right?
Oh yeah. Wall sweating. The mirror was foggy. Your floor actually wet.
Yeah.
Like you gotta watch out because you'll slip and fall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, because everything was just all moist and
How
wet in
long were you
there.
on that yard for?
Good times.
2
Good
years.
times.
2 years.
2 years.
Oh.
Yep. 2 years.
Lots of sand.
Nothing but sand.
Yeah.
Nothing but sand. You walk the child. If it's windy, it hurts.
Yeah.
Like the grains of sand, it hurts, man.
Yeah,
You get, like, stings.
Whips against you.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. So, do you remember your first day in prison, walking into prison?
I do.
What'd that feel like?
Surreal. I was definitely a little nervous, a little scared. I didn't know it. I knew people there, but when I first got there, I didn't see them. Right? You know, so like, and then like when you get there, everybody just looks at you.
Yeah.
They're just looking at you and they're like reading you. You know, like they're trying to read you. You know, so I get there and I'm just like, I don't know, all the eyes are on me. You know, I'm young. I'm probably like 20 years old because I get locked up at 18. I was 2 years in the county, so when I hit the yard, I was 20 years old. And I mean, I've been told my whole life that I've always looked younger than I really was, you know? So I'm sure I looked younger than 20 years old at the time I walked in there.
Who told you that?
Oh, everybody. But yeah, it was definitely surreal. Nobody really like came up to me and talked to me right away. The officer took me to my cell, and I immediately noticed that I didn't have a mattress. Right, so I didn't have a mattress there, and I was like, "Hey, can I get a mattress?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll bring one later." And hours passed by, and I never got a mattress. And so we were going to chow, and I ended up approaching the officer, and I was like, "Hey, man, I thought you were gonna give me a mattress. Like, I need a mattress, you know?" And he kind of got like a little attitude. He kind of was like, "I told you I was gonna get it. Like, just give me time." You know what I mean? I was like, "Damn, okay, like, whatever, you know."
Yeah.
I ended up getting a mattress later on that night, but
Not from him.
No, it was the next shift.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he relayed the message.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
He probably got home. He's like, "Oh, I forgot about him. Let me call back up there and make sure he's got a mattress." He seems like a good kid.
Yeah, man. So yeah, it was definitely surreal.
And then you went through 24 years and 363 more days.
Yep.
Tell us about your last day in prison.
My last day in prison, man, honestly, that was also surreal. I thought I was gonna be a little bit more excited. I wasn't as excited as I thought I was gonna be.
Yeah.
Maybe I was a little bit numb to it. You know, I guess I guess I had like the mentality that I built in prison was like, it's so good, like something's gonna happen to make it not good. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like you have that mentality of like, oh my God, this is so good. I'm not gonna allow myself to get worked up and so excited about it because then there's a fear of disappointment, you know? And so like it was kind of surreal, man. I stayed, I was in the pod, I walked around, and when they called me, I still didn't really feel nothing. You know, and
Even when they called you?
even when they called me, yeah, I didn't really feel nothing. Went back, I got the clothes. My family brought me clothes to walk out in. It was interesting because after 25 years, I don't know what size of clothes I wear.
I remember those conversations.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, I don't know what size I wore, man. And like, I mean, the clothes they give us in there, they're like elastic, so I mean, they fit comfortably. And so they sent me some jeans, some black Levi jeans, and they were 34s.
Yeah.
When I went to the restroom, I put them on. I found out I'm not a 34. I'm probably about a 36.
I told you you weren't a 34.
So they were a little tight. They were a little tight, man, and I felt a little uncomfortable. But like I don't know. I guess like walking out. When I walked out, immediately my sister picked up her phone and started filming it. And I walked out the gate, and she's like
skinny jeans.
In skinny jeans, right? Which I
all
swore
walking out,
I would
walking out
never
like
wear. I swore I would never wear them, But she's filming me with her phone, right? And as soon as I walked through the fence and I started walking towards her, she just starts crying, and then her phone kind of like didn't fall, but kind of went down. So like the entire 3-minute video is like the pavement.
Nice.
The asphalt, right? And then you could just hear her crying, And so, so I ended up going, I hugged her, and she just like hysterically cried. Like she's just like shaking and crying, And that's when I kind of like, dang, man, like they really, really missed me, man. It's like, this is pretty amazing, Still a little bit emotional. I still get emotional just talking about it now, She didn't even want to let me go, right? Like my sister didn't want to let me go. So my mom like just walked up and just got in the hug with us because my sister didn't want to let me go. Like she's holding me, and like I kind of like released a little bit of the grip. It gets in my mind thinking like when she feels like I release, she'll release and I can go hug my mom, but like she didn't. So my mom just came in. We all had like a little group hug there, and probably for a good 1 to 2 minutes we stayed there, man, in the parking lot just holding each other, which is pretty cool. Pretty good experience. Awesome, we got in the car, we left. And
Did you guys go eat?
we went to go eat. Oh, well, we went to where did we go at first? We went to go pick up, I can't even remember what we went to go pick up, but they were at my house. My brother and everybody at the house, they were cooking something. So my first meal when I got out wasn't out at a restaurant, it was at home. And they made carne asada, they made tripas, and why is that funny, dude?
Yeah.
I'm having to bite my tongue so bad right now.
So tell us a little bit about how you started with a 25-year sentence. You started on one of the most dangerous 4 yards in the state at that time, and you worked your way down and ended up becoming a facilitator at the Second Chance program, where you touched a lot of lives. What did that transition look like? How did that even become a transition? I mean, how did you go from looking at all that time with basically no light at the end of the tunnel to transforming that into being of service and working your way down all the way to minimum custody? What'd that look like?
Scary, right? For sure, it was scary.
Why do you say scary?
Because I grew up with the stuttering problem. I stuttered a lot as a kid.
Really?
Yeah, I stuttered a lot. And I remember one time in class, I was in class. I don't even know how old I was, but the teacher called upon me and asked a question about what she had on the board, And when I tried to answer the question, I stuttered. And when I stuttered, the class laughed at me. And that was a humiliating experience for me. So I was like, I'm never talking in this class ever again. Like you ain't getting to hear me talk.
Let alone talk.
Yeah. And so I didn't say nothing in class again, man. The teacher would call on me and be like, Eric, what is this? And I'm at my table. I'm at the table, just have my head down, act like I don't hear her, but I absolutely hear her. And she would just call on me a couple times, and I just like stay there. I was so terrified of being made fun of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And as a kid, so I didn't talk. And growing up, I just grew up, and people said that I was quiet, I was shy, I was all those things. But the reality of it was I was scared to speak and be made fun of because I had a stuttering problem. So getting to a point where I had to stand in front of people and speak was terrifying because I went so long hiding it. There's a fear again there of like, what if I'm in the middle of the classroom and I stutter and they laugh at me,
Yeah.
right? So like that's always in the back of my mind, And again, I know that kids and men are completely different. They're gonna react differently, But the mind is just you trick yourself into thinking it's possible, I try to make light of it, and I would tell the story, and I would talk about like talking and stuttering, and I would like deliberately tell the story and stutter just to make fun of it, make light of it, you know.
Right. Take some of the power out of it.
Yeah, it takes some of the power out of it, man. And so that was kind of cool. Like, it did help, and the class did laugh, but not laugh at me, but not like with me.
Yeah.
You know? Probably my personal development journey probably didn't start until I was about 8 years to the gate. 8 years to the gate. That's when I started trying to seek something higher than myself. I started reading the Bible, and I would read it every day for hours, man. And when I finished it, I read it again. Finished it, I would read it again. And I would just read it and read it and read it. And it got to a point where intellectually, I can tell you a story of the Bible. I can tell you where passages were. You know, like, I got to a point intellectually where I was like, what am I going to learn from this? I read this book so many times. What else am I going to learn? Not knowing the depth of it, you know? Once I got to that point, man, I stopped reading it, because I felt like at some point you read it so much over and over and over, and intellectually it just stops doing anything for you, you know? And then you start to experience the things that you've read, the things that you've known. I'm like, the heart is such like a deep thing within inside of us, man. And so, like, when you start to experience biblical passages, it's completely different from intellectual knowledge, you know? And that's where it started for me, man. Like, putting the Bible away, and I felt like I had to unlearn what I've learned intellectually to learn something differently, which is the experience of it. The spiritual experience. The spiritual experience of it, absolutely. And so,
the
like,
process of rebirth forming itself right before you.
Yeah, absolutely. And the scary part about it, why it was so scary, is because when you start to experience certain things, it's like you don't even think God is there. Like, he seems absent, he's quiet, he just seems like he's disappeared. It seems as if no matter what you say or what you do, you pray, you do whatever, it's like there just feels like there's a wall there and it's not even penetrating, you know? And so it's like you feel alone, you know? I couldn't tell you why, like, I continue to seek. I guess, like, once you get to a point, man, you're just like, how can I give up? I'm so far in. Like, what am I supposed to do? You know? And not to say that I was really into it. Like, it was just like, at that point in my life, I was like, where else am I gonna go? You know? But all that process was just kind of like a refinement of the character, right? Like, you start to pick up different habits. You take up, as the Bible says, your cross.
Yeah. And
you carry it, man. And to me, what that looked like was when I wanted to do something like get high or go hang out with whoever and just act a fool, it's like you deny it. And one thing about denying what you actually want to do, you suffer because of it, right? Like, you suffer not wanting to do what you really want to do. But it's like that denying is where you start to build the habit of actually not doing it. You know what I mean? So, like, that was a whole process, you know. It took years for me to feel like I was like, okay, like, I mean, I don't want to get high anymore. I don't want to, or not necessarily get high, but like drink, because I was a big drinker. You know, I wanted to drink all the time. But like, that was a huge thing. It was like, it got to a point now where, like, it's in front of me and I don't even want it no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, you start to build that endurance, you know? I started to sift rocks when I was in Yuma, and my buddy asked me to sift rocks with him. And I did it first of all. First, I started doing it voluntarily because it wasn't in my job, so I just start doing it, you know. But like, doing it, that's manual labor for sure. Yeah. Like, that's hard work. Where it's 118 degrees, we're out there sifting rocks, you know, and that's tough. But that right there built a work ethic. It built a work ethic, man. And when the counselor from the Second Chance Center contacted my boss, he had nothing but good things to say about me. He's like, man, this dude, he's busting his ass out there, 118 degrees, you know.
Wind.
Wind, yeah, absolutely, you know. So it's like, once I got to the Second Chance, that's when it's like I had to face another giant within my life, which was speaking in front of people. The first time I had to speak in front of like a class, all I had to do was like stand up and just say, hey, my name is Eric, I'm new here. That's it. And I got up, my hands, like, they were sweaty. Like my hands were like just all wet. They were sweaty. My knees like were like literally like shaking. Like I was like, damn. Like my heart was racing. I got up and I was like, my name's Eric. I sat down. Like you could just hear my voice of fear. You know what I mean? And I sat down, and it didn't get easier. You know, it got to a point where it was like when I was walking from my cell to the classroom, I was in my head and I would say, this guy's going to have me stand up in front of the class and say my name again. And I hate it. And so on the walking up to the classroom, I make it in my head worse. And it got worse. Building it up, man. And it got to a point where he called on me. And because I built it up so much, I got angry with him. And I yelled at him, man. I yelled at him. And he looked at me like, what happened? You know, like what just happened here? And immediately when I saw his face, I felt bad because you could see in his face, like one, he's sad.
He's just trying to involve you,
He's just
right?
trying to help me. And you know what I mean? And so I apologized to him, but like that just kind of really showed like my huge fear, man. It was like just speaking in front of people, you know? So I just started to do it. Just start doing it. And then eventually it got harder, but then it got easier, you know? No. But having to face that right there is what was like, was probably one of my biggest challenges right before I got out.
Kind of like what Jesse touched on. So you started there, terrified, knees shaking, hands sweating, yelling at people because they're making you do stuff you don't want to do, right? Why are you calling on me? I'm trying to be over here and be quiet. To being the lead facilitator at the Second Chance Center, running the whole place, showing other people how to do it. Jesse gave you a huge compliment, best facilitator he's ever seen, something along those lines. So going from a place where we're terrified, where we're paralyzed by fear, where we're even lashing out because we're so scared, not because we're angry, right? And you got to a place where you showed you can do it. You get up there extremely comfortably, and now what's your long-term goal? What's your dream?
My long-term, my dream, dude, my passion is relationships. That is my passion. There's just something about it that I love talking about it. Like I have such a deep desire to help struggling couples obtain intimacy. Like that's what my passion is. Like if I can get paid to do what I love, it would be that.
Oh, that's pretty awesome, man. Yeah.
So being of service to the incarcerated community taught you how to chase fear.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you applied it to other areas in your life since you've been out in your reentry.
Yeah. And it's what's interesting is that like there was like.
Can I ask you what area, other areas of your life, you know, that you were nervous about for the longest time that you're able to just walk through now with ease as a result of that practice and applying that coping skill?
Probably surrender. Because I have such a huge fear, like when it comes to like my spiritual walk, I have such a huge fear of surrendering and being forced to live a life I don't want to live. Like, you know, like there's such a deep embedded distrust inside of me that I have to face. And that distrust keeps me from like surrender. And so surrender is probably what I struggle with the most right now.
So what are some things that you've learned on your journey when it comes to relationships that you would share with others that are trying to make maybe their relationships with people more successful? You know, what are some things people can do?
I do believe that there's biblical principles regarding relationships. And I guess to kind of just throw it out there right now, like I'm not in a relationship as we speak, right? And it's what's interesting is that people look at me because you don't necessarily want somebody to talk about something they have no experience of, you know? But while I was incarcerated, I came up with 8 stages. 4 of those stages is what a toxic relationship looks like, and 4 of them is what an intimate relationship looks like. I have the experience of toxic relationships, you know, so like those things were like inside of me. Huh?
You know me, so that's a lot of experience right there.
And so like those toxic relationships, they were inside me. So all I had to do was look within and I can see it. And I just wrote about it, you know? As far as the intimate relationships, I didn't know what to do or how to go about it or what to do about it. But then my perspective, my focus shifted towards God and how he interacted with me and the principles I feel like he used in seeking me. And then that's how I like was able to feel like just have those 4 stages of the intimate relationship. So what I would say as far as your question goes is that it's the relationship is one coin. One side of the coin is based off the ego. The other side of the coin is like more of a spiritual aspect, because I think everything has like an opposite to it. You know, like we can always take something of good and there's an opposite to it. For example, attachment and detachment. Like attachment is pretty toxic. Detachment is pretty healthy. You know,
Explain that, because when people hear, even just for myself, hearing detachment is healthy, I think when I think of the word detachment, I think of being alone,
Isolation.
right? It doesn't necessarily conjure up thoughts of happiness. So what do you mean by that?
So detachment, not detachment from the person, but detachment from an emotion. In other words, like if I'm with somebody and she's angry, if I'm attached, I'm angry too. I can feel that emotion. I let the emotion affect me, so I become angry as well. We're both angry.
And you're marrying each other.
And you're marrying each other, yeah. But if I'm detached from the emotion, then she's angry, I'm not angry. That gives me the ability to understand.
And then she gets more angry.
And then you get punched.
But like being able to detach from the emotion, I think is what enables you to have more empathy.
Yeah.
Because if you're attached to the emotion and what she's feeling, you're feeling, you can't empathize, right? Because you're angry with her. But if you detach yourself from the emotion, then if she's angry, then you have the ability to empathize and understand.
No.
Yeah? That's what I mean by detachment.
And you did make a statement saying, you know, just to let you know I'm not in a relationship right now, right? But you and I talk pretty often, and it's not like you could not be in a relationship. You're just waiting for a relationship that's worth your time.
DM Eric Barron. DM Eric Barron.
Eric Barron on Instagram.com. Completely single.
So probably a big struggle for me, man, when I got out was after 25 years, man, it's like when you're out and you're around the opposite sex, it's like, dang, it starts to pull on you.
Yeah.
It starts to pull you, you know? And so like one, I wasn't that strong at first, you know, I wanted to be pulled towards it. Powerful emotions that you don't necessarily feel while you're incarcerated.
Yeah.
You have you have the thought, you have the emotion, but then to actually feel the feminine energy is completely different, man. It's like that's a strong pull, you know.
No, that's a magnet. That's a magnet.
For sure. So I have been in a couple of relationships. Unfortunately, man, it's like I was in those relationships not because I thought that they were the one, but because I was lonely and I was making decisions based off desperation.
Well, it's powerful.
I hope they're not listening.
I hope so too. As soon as I said it, I was like, damn, do they listen to this? Do they know George? Damn.
There's only four listeners. So. And we're sitting at the table.
But it's true, right? We're here to talk about real stuff, and that vulnerability, especially coming out of an environment, prison, where there's no real compassion, there's no touch, and I'm not talking about just the sex, but hand holding, you know, someone rubbing your back, all that stuff. It brings up emotions.
Yeah.
Right? That feels really, really good at first, and if you've been devoid of it 5, 10, 25 years, everything's amplified.
Yep.
That's what.
And so, like, different attachment styles, like there's anxious, I hear them all, right? Dismissive attachment is one that I think I struggle with. Anxious attachments. What would be the necessary steps for someone to break free from something a coping skill that they developed since childhood? Right?
Yep. So I'm pretty familiar with the attachment styles. I guess I have a different approach to it because I use etymology.
Etymology. Can you explain what that is? Because I when you first said that, which was a couple of years ago, I thought you were talking about studying bugs.
And he still believes that. So let's clarify.
So let's just clarify. The bugs is entomology.
Oh, okay. Entomology.
The study of words is etymology.
Yeah.
Etymology is words. I got
Yeah,
you.
the breaking down of the words to the original root word.
Yeah.
And just so you know, Matt, remember we were talking about Maddie before? Mm-hmm. Bragoogs. She checked in. She said, what she said? It moved on me.
It moved on me.
She said, hi, Eric.
Hey, Maddie. Yeah, so I use etymology. Attachment comes from is an old French word, attaché, and I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it comes from an old French word, and it means stake. Not the steak you cook to medium rare. It's the one it's a wooden post that you put into the ground, bind somebody to, and burn them. Like you've been burned at the stake.
Yeah.
Like you guys heard of the saying, right?
Yeah.
So the word attachment comes from the word stake. When you are attached to somebody, you are burning within your own passion, right? Because it's like inside, you're never satisfied. You cannot find joy. You cannot find happiness because no matter what somebody does, they'll never be able to satisfy your attachment. Something's always going to upset it. And if it upsets it, you start to burn with inside, right? So that's what I use as far as attachment goes. I haven't really studied too much on the attachment, the ones you just brought up, but I have come across them and I read a little bit about it. But I use the attachment in that sense that you're burning at the stake.
Yeah.
So what's the difference, or where do you find that balance of what's a healthy connection and when it becomes toxic to what you're saying, burning at the stake attachment?
It's a pretty gnarly analogy too, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want that shit.
It's the root word. I mean, that defines it, right?
He broke it down really well.
Absolutely.
Because I would think that I would want connection in a relationship, and I think that a lot of us that have spent a lot of years incarcerated are probably a little codependent, probably a little lonely, and like you said, we probably yearn for that, that connection. And I think that trying to find that balance, that's definitely something that I'm looking for.
Yeah, and Marlo talks about it all the time, pre and post, right? Like I have lost joy, I've lost a certain sense of easygoingness about me that has changed as a result of incarceration, and I find myself as a go-to dismissive approach to these things, and in that I suffer. So I'm at the stake, right? And so, we've been working on it in therapy, and it's been a struggle for me, and the self-awareness now is there, but the action steps to this is something that has followed me since childhood. So growing through it and then applying these action steps would only benefit what Jesse's talking about, connection, has been a struggle. Because I didn't know that it ever even existed, and it lay dormant while I was incarcerated, but is revealed itself out here, and we've paid in our relationship dire consequences as a result.
Yeah.
So definitely looking to lean into more post podcast and talk more in depth on how to overcome that. So thank you.
Yeah, for sure. I guess what's interesting is I still struggle with attachment myself.
I didn't realize I was literally burning at the stake, which is true. Now that I really look at it and past actions and behaviors, that suffering has caused significant damage.
Yeah.
So,
I
I
think
don't know what's going on over there, but it looks pretty serious.
I'm pretty sure his hands are in his pants.
Talk about attachment.
The dog is definitely burning at the stake right now.
Burning at the stake.
That's what happens when you come on the Low Rent podcast, man. We got dogs running around, animals, all kinds of things going on here. But yeah, Eric and I were together my last probably 2 years. I was incarcerated, and when I first got there, I met Eric, and pretty much every other person there kind of gave me a little bit of shit. I remember Kevin. He's like, "Hey, what kind of groups do you do?" I'm like, "Reentry and substance use." He's like, "Oh, you do anything like worthwhile?" And I remember, if you know Kevin, that's kind of a sense of humor,
Yeah.
So I didn't know him at the time, but it made me laugh.
Yeah.
But with Eric, I was just kind of drawn to him, right? Kind of a serious demeanor. Always had always adding value. Everything that came out of your mouth was adding value. Except once we got to know each other, and then it turned into me and you just talking shit, playing handball. But I was like, man, I got to learn from this dude.
Yeah.
And we'd have these conversations. I remember down in Classroom 8, and we'd just sit there and talk, and what the future looked like, and all this other stuff. And it was really cool to be able to learn from you those last couple of years, to watch the way you ran a group, talk to people. Dude, this is funny. He talks about etymology. It's like the second group I'm teaching there. I had some facilitation experience, right? So I'm pretty comfortable in front of a group, but my skill level is definitely
Developing.
not able to manage that audience very well, right? And so I get there, and to this day, I can't remember the word I said, but he's like, some guy standing, he's like, damn it, man. I was all, what's the matter? He's like, you guys with these big words. I just came from that fucking 7 Habits guy down there. And now I'm like, what did I say? He's like, I don't know. If I knew, I wouldn't be asking you what the hell the word was.
Oh, jeez.
I get out of the class, I'm like, Eric, what'd you say to this guy? He's like, I don't know. I didn't say anything in my class. But it was really cool to watch and learn from you. It added a lot of value to me and to what I wanted to do, and to see you, because we started doing fun stuff down there. Those little exercises we'd pull down the screen, talk for 30 minutes about what's on there. Like those were cool drills. I really, really cut my teeth, and I knew I was going to be in peer support. I knew that's what I was going to do for the rest of my life, but that was already the decision had been made. But I didn't know I could get better, if that makes sense, right? And develop those skills, and being around you and then a couple of the other guys that were down there, it was really a great experience for me. A really great experience, man. Cool. So yeah, I'm definitely grateful for that. We had you over for dinner a couple of weeks ago. I remember we were sitting there, and I remember when we lived in dorm 4, we were talking about barbecues and stuff we were going to do, and how you weren't going to hang out with me out here and that kind of stuff. And we joke around about the motorcycles, remember? Yeah. And
Did you guys enjoy Mexican food?
we enjoyed Mexican food. Eric used to feed me, man. He used to feed me pretty often. You want something to eat? I'm like, nah, I'm good. He'd come over, come on, man, we're eating. I'm going to throw it away. I'm, all right, man, we'll eat. But we were sitting there. We had a barbecue the other night. I was like, man, we talked about this stuff in prison, and it was just, it was cool to actually see that fruition, because all too often the people you make plans with in prison, I was one of them at one point, aren't there a year later to have a barbecue with you.
Or they're back there.
Yeah.
They're there, but they're back in the prison there.
They definitely need barbecue.
Yeah. So we really like a barbecue at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I seen one of the guys that we facilitated with, and he's in really, really bad shape right now. And I see him on Facebook and stuff, and I'm just like, to see somebody kind of at their best, because you have to perform at a high level there, right? You have to be a leader. You have to be a part of the process. No one really likes you from the inmate population, because
You're helping others.
you're not the cool guy. You give a shit about your life, all that other stuff. So we get kind of close. And then seeing people return to that suffering. Jesse had said it in a class one time. It was the most powerful things one of the most powerful things I ever heard. And I'm going to mess up what you said, but like the craziest thing I ever do when I'm sober is decide to reintroduce that substance into my body.
Yeah.
Because relapse doesn't happen when you're messed up. And I never thought about that before.
No, we do it sober.
Yeah, dead sober, you
Dead
make
sober,
that decision, and it's just, it blows my mind, man. Blows my mind. Be sitting here with you today doing this and having these kind of conversations, seeing the impact you're having at St. Mary's. It's awesome. Let's talk about your reentry, because you had a plan, right?
Absolutely.
And everything went just nice and smooth according to that plan.
Absolutely not.
So you had this reentry plan, and I just spoke at a graduation there, so I do kind of think I know the answer to this. You had a plan.
Yep.
What percent of that plan would you say worked for you post-prison? It went the way you thought it was going to go?
0.
0%. Yeah, that's what they had said you shared in there.
Yep.
What did that look like?
Like you talked about, we would get up at 3, 4 in the morning, right? Sit at the tables, and I would write in composition books. And right before I got out, I had my first 72 hours mapped out. What I wanted to do, when I wanted to do it. Like I had them planned out, you know, because everybody would always talk about like have a plan, get out with the goals, get out with this, get out with that. You know, it's like okay, that's what I'm gonna do. Like I've never re-entered into society yet, so like let's just go ahead and take this advice and start writing this stuff down. Yeah. What I did not take into account was my family. I didn't take that into account, like the amount of time they're gonna want to spend with me. And so when I got out, I had family members come from out of state. I had family members take a week off of work. And from morning to evening, my house was full of family members who just want to spend time with me.
That's cool.
And so like I didn't have the heart to say, you guys wait here. I got a 72-hour plan that I got to go and make happen. Yeah. I'll be back.
I got boxes I got to check, bro.
So my first 72 hours didn't go. I didn't do anything I wanted to do that first 72 hours. After that week, it was pretty cool because I mean they would pick me up, they would take me places, right? They didn't take me places that I wanted to go. They took me places that they liked, that they thought I would like.
That they thought you should go to.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
you got to try this.
Yeah. So even places I wanted to go, I didn't even do, right? Yeah. So after that week, everybody goes to work. They go back out of state, and I'm left there, man. And I'm like, I am completely afraid. Mentally,
that whirlwind kind of ended, right?
Yeah. The whirlwind ended. Mentally, I'm still confined. I didn't think this was gonna be a thing, like, but I was still confined mentally, and I didn't even want to walk out of my yard and venture into the neighborhood. If somebody came pick me up,
Not the best idea. Anyway.
not the best idea. If somebody picked me up and I was with somebody, I was good. I was with somebody.
Yeah.
But to do it on my own, I was 100% afraid to do it.
I get it.
You know, and it started like I started to take little baby steps. I would wake up in the morning like at 4. I'll go outside. I'll work out. You know, and then I started to run around the block. Do a set, run around the block. Do a set, run around the block. Eventually, it went from 1 block to 2 blocks, from 2 blocks to 3 blocks, and then I started to venture out. But it took me probably about 2.5, 3 weeks for me to feel even comfortable walking outside the gate by myself.
No,
I was afraid, you know, and so I didn't do nothing. I didn't accomplish anything that I wanted to accomplish. I actually thought I was going to go to work a week after I got out. I got out Monday. I thought I was going to go to work that following Monday. I got out on Monday. That first Wednesday I was out, I found out I didn't even get the job. So like didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to begin. I didn't have nothing to like fall back on. I never had a job in my life, so I don't have a trade. I don't have a degree or education or anything like that I could just fall back on. So I was like, what the hell am I gonna do, man? Like I was this close of walking down the street and just applying. I was like, okay, just to have something. Yeah. You know, I thought I was gonna have to like either work at that or like, rely on like manual labor, man.
So you talk about like the obstacles that happen, right, and the fear that comes along with them. By a long shot, and I joke around a lot, I'm being 100% serious right now, the most scared I have ever been since I've been in my reentry was when I let this dude practice driving my car. So Eric, I'm not even joking, dead serious. Eric didn't have a driver's license, been in prison since he was 18 years old. Got a driving license test on Thursday. Yeah. So I go over there like Monday, and I'm like, hey, you been practicing? He's like, nah, not really. My friend does. I'm like, come on, man, drive my car, dude. Yeah. Spot this car, go ahead, drive. Yeah. I'm like, dude, pull this car over, bro. Yeah. So we pull it over. Jerry had already given him the Kia. The Kia was outside, right? But he wasn't going to drive it because he didn't have a license yet. I was just practicing the Kia, man. Just practicing the Kia. So I talked to him on Wednesday, and I'm like, hey, man, you been practicing? Yeah. He's like, I've been out there a little bit. When's the test? He's like, tomorrow. In my head, I'm not going to voice this to him because obviously he probably knows the skill level's not up to par. I'm like, he ain't passing that shit. Yeah. No way, dude.
Not a chance.
So, not a chance. There wasn't I was like, no way. So I don't remember if I called him or he called me the next day after the driving test. I was like, man, did you pass? What'd you tell me?
Absolutely, I passed, bro.
What'd the driver instructor tell you?
that I barely passed. So hey, it was crazy because like I really thought that I was not gonna pass. So many things happened.
Oh my
that
gosh.
was bad, you know.
Tell us some of the things that happened, if you don't mind sharing.
I didn't know where the emergency brake was.
Yeah.
I'm looking around like normally it's at the bottom where your left foot, right? It wasn't there, and this is my buddy's car. I have no idea what's at. I was like, I'm looking at him, I'm like, I don't know where it's at. He's like, okay, he's just marked something on his paper, you know.
Yeah, you're like,
He's
what the hell is that?
he's like, show me your defrosters. So I was like, I didn't know cars had defrosters, right? So I was like, I don't know where that's at. So he marks it on a piece of paper, you know. And eventually, man, he gets into the car. He's like, I'm gonna give you directions. I'm gonna give you enough time to maneuver. Just follow my directions. I was like, all right, cool. Just he gets in. He's like, drive out the parking lot, make a right, go to a stoplight, and when it turns green, make a left. I was like, okay, cool, I got that. So I do that, right? I'm at the park. I'm at the light. Turns green. I make a left. I got my hand 10-2, and I'm driving. And as I'm driving, in my peripheral vision, I can see this guy looking at me, and he's going back and forth like this. He's looking at the road, looking at me. Looking at the road, looking at me. He's going like this, back and forth, right? And I'm like, I'm driving. I'm like, what's he tripping on, you know? And he starts yelling at me, dude. He starts yelling at me, right? He says, you need to pick a lane. I was like, huh? He's like, pick a lane right now. You need to pick a lane. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's all like, you're driving in the middle of the road. Pick a lane. So, in my defense, the broken white lines were pretty faded. You can already see them, right?
Fair enough. Yeah.
There was
City
a
problem.
there was a black line that was actually a patchwork.
Yeah.
And it was a long line. So in my mind, I'm thinking that's the line, right?
Of course.
But it's in the middle of the street, and I'm following that line. And
Starts yelling at you.
right? So
Jeez.
to kind of like, I guess I wanted to save face, right? And I was like, oh man, I thought that was a line. Like the lines are faded, you know? I mean, he just kind of just looks. He just writes something on the paper, right?
Jeez.
We hit a stoplight, another stoplight. I made a right. He took me into neighborhood, school zone. We went to a cul-de-sac, made a
He
U-turn.
took you to a school zone?
Yeah.
Bold move on his part.
Yeah. So we made a U-turn at the cul-de-sac. We come back and we start going back to the DMV. My driving test was like 5 minutes, right? We hit the first light. I made a left. I made a wide turn. I made a turn. I went into one lane and came into the other lane, right? He looked at me, marked it on the paper. And so I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, this was
rat in the car.
This was a disaster, right?
Yeah.
This was a disaster. We get there. I pull back up to the DMV, turn the car off, and he literally took a deep breath. He went like that. He looks at me. He says, "You passed, but you barely passed." I'm like, shoot, I passed.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
She barely passed.
You have to be the only guy I know that got screamed at by a driving instructor.
And still passed.
But you know what I like about this story is that I needed my license, dude.
Yeah.
I was going to work that following, starting the CK program, the community kitchen. I was doing the 9 weeks community kitchen that following Monday.
Yeah.
I live on 111th and Buckeye. My job, that program is 31st and Thomas. That's not walking distance.
No.
I needed it. I feel like what that taught me is what you got coming, nobody can stop it.
Yeah.
Nobody can stop what you got coming, man. I needed that.
Did you complete that program?
I did, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that. What is that?
Community Kitchen is a 9-week culinary program at the Skill Center St. Mary's. It's broken up into 3 tiers. The first tier, each tier is 3 weeks long. The first tier, you go over basics. Right? You learn the tools, you learn the equipment, you go through the vocabulary, you study for your food hunters test, you take your food hunters test. The second tier is what they call Kids Cafe. And Kids Cafe is like you cook bulk. And you feed kids who normally wouldn't have a hot meal that day.
That's cool.
Awesome.
Right? So it's like pretty cool. It's like you learn how to like measurements. You learn how to like take a recipe and convert it from 10 to 50. Right? So you like learn things like that. The third tier is what they call Creative Kitchen. This is where like you learn what the front of the house is, the back of the house is. how to get creative, right? Like they have what they call like a challenge.
Yeah.
And every challenge is a different item. So they'll give you an item. They're like, create your own dish, and then the staff they judge on the dish, right? And then then once they judge the dish, it's the person who wins. They get pretty good applause. You know, it's pretty cool. My challenge was item was eggplant. They gave us eggplant.
My wife's favorite.
Is it for us?
Yeah, she
nice.
loves eggplant. Marla, we have an eggplant savant over here.
No, we do not. So they gave me an eggplant. Never even had eggplant in my life. So how am I gonna cook it? I don't even know what it's supposed to taste like, you know. But I didn't win the challenge. Somebody else won, but it was pretty cool, man, for
But
sure.
cool thing, that same night we had the barbecue, we left here to go get some ice cream because Eric, for some reason, brought fruit for dessert. Good move.
Unacceptable.
Unacceptable. So we went to Dairy Queen. And we're at Dairy Queen, and he starts talking to the lady behind the counter who, I don't go into Dairy Queen that often, per se, but she might know who I am. You know? So I've been there once or twice. And
They're on first name basis.
she's like, "Got your punch card?" But she's a graduate from Eric's program, and she was talking about what and you remembered her. You're like, "Oh, this Dairy Queen," and it's really cool to see like the fruits of the labor, right?
Yeah,
and the
for
cool
sure.
stuff that comes out of it. So we're getting into our last minute or two here. Before we wrap, we kind of like to close out with final thoughts. One thing that you can leave our audience with, our audience of actually 7 right now, so we're doing pretty well. One thing you could leave our audience of 7 with.
One thing,
Yeah.
change and what change actually is. I'll leave you guys with etymology, right? The etymology of the word change means to barter or to cheat. Interesting when you think about it. But when you think about change, you're literally cheating the system because you're trading in something of less value for something of greater value. The old you for the new you. And I thought that was a great concept, man. And you cheat the system, right? You changed.
That's good,
fire, bro.
That's good.
That's fire. Good job, man. Well, thanks for being on tonight.
Thanks for having me, dude.
I can tell you very confidently you've been our best guest in probably the last 8 weeks.
Is that because you guys have had podcasts in the last 8 weeks?
We might not have had a podcast in the last 8 weeks.
I'll take it though.
Yeah. Either way, I got it.
You passed. That's all that matters.
No, for real. It's always a pleasure. We're super glad to have you here. Super glad to be back with you guys too, Jesse and Jeremy. Super glad to be with all you guys too that joined us and watched us tonight. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
That was really good, dude.